Hello, and welcome back to another installment of the Weekend Update. I am Marisa, your hostess for this program where we dive into what I have been up to in the past week in terms of reading and what I'm looking forward to in the week to come. So let's dive right in because it has been a minute since I've done one of these. So, first things first, what have I been up to? Since we last spoke, I have finished a couple of books. Just recently finished Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. I rated both of these books like a 3.25 stars. The first book I felt like was kind of just basic. It was very much like classic romantasy, classic witch and witch hunter romance. The second book I felt like was a little bit more unique. However, with that being said, I felt like it was all over the place. I genuinely felt like we were doing a million different things and it wasn't super cohesive in my opinion. It also was very predictable. Every time there was a twist, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that was coming. And I also really had a hard time with the romance. I felt like the romance was giving me whiplash as well. And we have a dual POV, like we have Rune and Gideon's point of view. And so I'm seeing his point of view, but I still have no idea what's going on in his head. It was fine. It was not the best romantasy I've read this year. However, it was fine. I also recently finished How to Seal Your Own Fate by Kristen Perrin. A lot of Kristens this month. That was the second book in the Castle Knoll files. And if you guys know, I loved the first book, How to Solve Your Own Murder. I thought it was really charming, really interesting, and really fresh. But unfortunately, I did not care for How to Seal Your Own Fate. I was listening to it on audiobook with my husband, and they changed the audiobook narrator for Frances, which was the great aunt, and her story is told through diary entries. And I did not like the audiobook narrator. I found her extremely soapy. Everything was very over the top. I found those sections to be honestly almost impossible to listen to, which was really frustrating because her sections were far and away longer and contained a lot more of the plot than our main character Annie's sections. And so I ended up rating this book 2.75 stars. I was fine with Annie's sections. We just got so little of it. And by the end of the book, I kind of didn't really know how we ended up where we were. It felt like we kind of had to like really quickly wrap things up. And the motivations for the characters were weird. The plot was weird. The conflict was weird. It just all felt kind of sad, especially compared to how much I enjoyed the first one. Currently, I am reading Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I am literally 25 pages into this. It's early days, and so I don't really have a firm grasp on my thoughts. I really enjoyed Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. I thought those were really good books. And so I have high hopes, but I also know that this one is very controversial. Some people really don't care for it, and so I'm kind of nervous. I'm trying not to let those opinions color my opinion. However, I'm only 30 pages in, and I have already cringed at least 4 times. So I'm hoping that that gets a little bit better because genuinely, how many times and how many separate characters can describe someone as he's like if Rhysand from ACOTAR was a person? Like, that'd be lovely to run into in the wild, but it's amazing how every single female character sees the same exact thing when they look at this gentleman. So, we'll see where that goes. In terms of what we're going to be reading next, I am kind of thinking that I'm going to do The Names by Florence Knapp. I have said that I want to do more books outside of my normal comfort zone, and this is a literary fiction. I've heard really good things about it, and so I'm excited to get my toes back into literary fiction and with a story that I probably wouldn't normally pick up. But that's what I've been up to. June has started off really slow. I've only completed 2 books this month, which is fine, but definitely not on track to compared to last month when I read 7 books. But I want to know what you guys have been up to, what books you have been reading, and your thoughts on those books. I will talk to you. I'm not going to say I'll talk to you next week because I said that last time and I didn't. So I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Anyways, I hope you all have a great week. Talk to you later.